They pulled the captain out of the water at dawn, face pale, eyes open, tongue missing. His hands were still gripping a leather satchel, locked with a naval seal. Inside, a single page soaked with seawater and blood. If the Harrow reaches Boston, Britain falls. The brig Harrow had left Halifax 4 days earlier, carrying what the manifest called strategic correspondence. Nothing unusual on paper. But every sailor on the Atlantic knew, if a ship needed an escort and sailed without one, something dangerous was inside. The Harrow should have arrived yesterday. It didn't. And now its captain floated ashore alone, mutilated and dead, with orders no one understood. By noon, Lieutenant Samuel Drake was given a choice. Take a 12-man crew, find the Harrow, and retrieve the cargo, or burn the ship where it floated. No second option, no room for judgment. Just find it, secure it, or destroy it. They set out immediately. Skies clear, sea calm. No sign of trouble except for the silence on the horizon. But 20 miles out, they spotted her. The Harrow. Sails down. No movement on deck. Bow pointed directly north, as if dragged by an invisible current. The closer Drake approached, the worse the feeling became. A barrel drifted beside the hull, cracked open. Inside, rations, rope, a boot, and a severed hand still clutching a flintlock pistol. Someone had tried to fight. Someone had lost. Drake climbed aboard with 4 men. The deck was deserted. Rope trails, bloodstains, an overturned crate. But no bodies, no signs of looting. Just silence. Thick, unnatural silence that pressed on the ears. On the quarterdeck, a logbook lay open. The last entry: do not go below, even at gunpoint. Drake knew what that meant. He drew his pistol and lifted the hatch. The air rising from the hold was warm, stale, and wrong, like a cellar that hadn't been opened in years. But the crates were down there. The mission was down there. And so were the men who had been paid to protect it, or die trying. Drake took the first step down the ladder. Something dripped. Another step. A lantern swung gently, though there was no wind. Another step. Then he saw the first body, kneeling, head bowed, hands tied behind the back with naval rope. Not killed in battle, executed. And on the wall behind him, scratched in charcoal, "Don't search the cargo. It searches you." Drake crouched beside the body. The sailor had been shot behind the ear. No powder burns, close range. The knotwork, Navy standard, executed by someone trained, one of their own. He raised the lantern. The hold stretched out before him, dozens of crates stacked tightly, secured with iron nails and tar, each marked with red wax, each unbroken. Except one. Crate number 14. Lid pried off. Empty. No papers, no lockbox, just a torn scrap of uniform and the faint smell of oil and ink. Footsteps echoed behind him. Drake spun, pistol raised. It was Midshipman Vale, pale, shaking. "There's something in the water tank," he whispered. Drake followed him topside. The crew had gathered around the midship pump. No one spoke. The water they pulled up wasn't clear. It was pink, frothy. Someone had bled into the ship's drinking supply recently. They opened the hatch to the lower cistern. Inside, 3 more sailors, crammed, dead. Mouths filled with pages, handwritten, coded, half dissolved by water. Drake pulled one free. The writing wasn't British. French. By nightfall, paranoia spread. Someone had cleaned out a crate, shot their own crew, jammed code into corpses, sabotaged the water. The question was why. And where was the rest of the Harrow's crew? At midnight, Lookout Hale screamed. He pointed to the foremast. A figure was hanging by the neck from the rigging, but when they climbed up, it was just rope. No body, no sign of movement. They cut the rope down anyway. At dawn, they found Hale gone, his hammock neatly made, his boots still warm. And on the mast above where he'd slept, 4 French letters carved into the wood. C-H-O-T. Silence. Below deck, someone had begun moving the crates. Crate number 12, originally near the keel, was now beside the powder room. No one admitted to shifting it, but one Marine reported seeing someone walk into the hold at 0300, a man in full naval uniform. Ainsley, the Harrow's dead captain. But his body was still back on the mainland, wasn't it? They opened crate number 12. Inside, not documents, not maps, not coin. A steel strongbox, sealed, bolted to the inside of the crate. Around it, scraps of torn letters, all bearing the French imperial seal. But the strongbox couldn't be opened. No key, no seam. Just one word carved across the top in deep, jagged strokes. Genévrier. French for January. Or maybe a name. Drake didn't sleep. He sat beside the strong box with his pistol across his lap. The ship rocked gently, quiet as a church. Too quiet. No gulls, no waves, no wind. Just the creak of wood and breath. By morning, 2 more crates had been moved. No one confessed. No one saw anything. Vale claimed he heard footsteps just after midnight, heavy boots, same pace, over and over. But when he looked, the deck was empty. Then the whispering started. From inside the hull. Faint at first, like wind through rope, but no wind. It grew louder. Not words, names. Spoken slow, drawn out, one at a time. The crew couldn't sleep, couldn't think. Drake ordered the strongbox moved to the quarterdeck. Fresh air, full light. They lashed it to the rail. But that night, someone tried to open it. Scrape marks on the lock, chisel left nearby, blood on the handle. No one reported injury, but the next morning they found the ship's surgeon missing, his knife kit gone, and one crate burned from the inside. Drake snapped. He gathered all surviving crew at midship. 12 men left, all exhausted, filthy, starving, afraid of each other. He told them what he feared. They weren't here to recover the cargo. They were here to make sure it never reached land. Some nodded. Others refused to speak. That evening, Gunner Wicks barricaded himself in the powder room, screaming that someone had replaced the charts with lies, that they weren't sailing west anymore, that the compass was spinning. He fired 2 shots through the bulkhead before they broke the door. He was dead. Not from a wound, from drowning. His lungs filled with seawater. But his cabin was dry, no leaks. Then someone noticed. The logbook was changing. Old entries rewritten, handwriting shifting. Drake's own past entries were now different, names misspelled, Dates wrong. Orders he never gave. One page written entirely backward. It's not what we carried. It's who. That night, Vale stood on the bow. He had no coat, no boots, just his pistol. He said one sentence before jumping. It already left the box. Then he was gone. No splash, no trace. Only the strong box, still lashed at the stern, still sealed, still waiting.